The views, information or opinions expressed during the Journey podcast series are solely those of the individuals involved and does not represent Wise Words Imaging or any other company. Wise Words Imaging is not responsible and does not verify for accuracy. Any of the information contained in the podcast series is available from the respective owner. Enjoy the show. I don't usually leave unedited material out, but this interview was so unique that I had to leave it as it was. Now, you may hear me a bit muffled, but that's only because I haven't got the setup to have a proper mic and proper studio facilities. But, nevertheless, this open and frank interview between myself and Tigger was really amazing. And you will hear from both sides, the real Tigger and the real David. Enjoy.
The following is rated R. It contains adult language and adult content. Discretion advised.
To be brutally honest, I literally started self-identifying as autistic maybe 3 months ago.
Well,
yeah. So
and you're now 21.
yeah, and so it's a bit of a journey for me. But we can have a natural, because I mean, the people that listen to you know about your journey. You used to at college, you transferred from one country to another. Wow.
The journey, obviously, you've seen it. I have travelled to America in the last 2 years. I've gone to America. That's the big step. In college, even when you first knew me originally in Cornwall College, I never identified myself as autistic, even though they wanted to get me set.
Yes, I see. Do I remember that? Yeah. It's a long time ago for me. I'm getting on a bit, but yeah.
That was 20 years ago. And I'm not going away. And then I went to Truro College. And I used my tutor there, my own tutor,
God, that is, isn't it?
That was 2004, 2003, 2004. Because I took time out from Cornwall College after I did what I did in Cornwall College. And then I went to Truro College to start again.
Well, I'm being dead nosy. How did you get to America?
My wife. You seen her?
Oh, of course, right. God, it must be... I've never been to America. I've only ever been to Nepal and like holidays in Spain and Portugal and stuff like that. But my God, it must be an amazing country to live in. But awkward at the moment, I suspect. But
talking about journey, that's where if you read, White Wolf Inspirations and Wise Words for You in the bio, I described it as a big journey.
Yeah.
Because that's why I call the podcast The Journey.
The Journey, yeah, no, it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
And everyone has a journey in their own life.
Yeah.
But I've only started self-identifying myself as autistic, more so since my wife has told me you're autistic, but Asperger's. Because I didn't want... don't get me wrong, I've always known I've had it.
Yeah.
But I've been the one to put barriers up and say...
Well, I mean, I've worked for years. I'm doing a lot of rethinking about terms and terminology, even about what I teach. We're looking at what I've done in the past with terms of whether I agree with some of that now and some of it I don't. So I'm on a really big journey myself because I'm thinking I don't agree with that anymore. I'm learning a lot about autism culture. So this morning I was chatting to somebody in Abu Dhabi, is it? It's my international day today. Tomorrow I'm chatting to somebody in Australia, and it's all to do with the world of autism. And also I'm learning a lot from some of the awesome people I'm working with now. But the culture of autism, the autistic world is changing big time. And a lot of the models that I was used to, I don't agree with anymore. So I'm very much more of a autism pride, being, aware of who you are and our differences, and and helping people accept them and accept us who we are. It's not anything wrong, horrible, bad.
You can't use the term autistic nowadays, can you? You've got to use the ASD term.
Well, it's interesting. In Britain, the professionals have ASD and ASC. But we can talk about this on the podcast. Yeah. Let's start it. We'll talk about asking these questions on the podcast because we'll talk. I have to say, it is really, really good to see you. What time is it there for you?
Currently, just after 10:15. in the morning.
Oh God! Well, okay. Well, I've been on a lot, so I'm going to be careful. I'm now moving on to water. I've been on this morning for a couple of hours with somebody. That's lady in Abu Dhabi. We had a few technical issues. I hope we don't have any technical issues here.
Yeah.
But I know
Wi-Fi for you.
I know. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to open. Well, I'm just going to keep one pod in, I think. I'm just opening the doors a sec.
Okay.
It's a day of parcels I wasn't expecting. So
I'm expecting a parcel later.
the Amazon didn't expect, and then I've just got an email saying a shirt I ordered is on its way. And I'm thinking they're supposed to be all coming tomorrow, but oh well. So if you're happy to start,
Yeah, it's just recording, so we can start and I can edit it, and I can use the stuff so you can edit your side for your side of things.
brill. So it says 4 p.m. here, so that's great. It's supposed to be low in about 4. So hello, fire away.
Okay. As they say in Makaton, hello.
God, yeah, hello. It's been a while.
Oh, and the only reason I know about autism a lot more myself is because when I was with a previous partner, you probably didn't know I was back in Pro College in 2007. But I went back to Pro College in 2006, 2007. I had a partner, and she fell pregnant, and we had to do a special painting course with the American Debbie.
Didn't I see you in town? I saw you in Truro.
Yeah, in Truro as well.
I remember now. Yes, I do. I remember. In the middle of Truro, I saw you.
Yeah, that's when people recently saw me. But
Yeah.
what's her name? Debbie. What's her name? Her surname? Anyway, she was American, and it was basically we had to do the course through social services recommendation because they thought we was out. And you don't mind Germans because it is very stuffy. They thought we was at risk of neglecting her, and she was put on a child protection list 4 months before she was born.
Mm-hmm.
And she was born, healthy, 10-pound baby, lovely baby.
Mm.
But we never really had a chance to bring her physically home as in her own home. We had to, as soon as she was born, she was on child protection. As soon as she was ready to come home, she had to go to a mother and baby room. But because I was so resilient and everybody aspects, I didn't want to stand by her. They had to find a mother, baby, and take that side for me. So we went to Aston.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we had to have assessments, and then that failed because they didn't have the full capability of ensuring that we'd be able to be safe there. So they moved us to just outside Vegas. There's a place down in the Vegas area.
Yeah. And that was 2007, 2008?
2006.
2006. Wow.
And
a long time ago.
And she's now 14.
Wow.
So that does make me, I was like, when I knew you back in the day, your daughter was a teenager. She
was a youngster, yeah. I mean, I left that college in 2013.
You were still in college when I was doing that course.
Yeah, I think I was based down at a place called Tigger, which is away from the main campus.
Yeah, I remember today.
So we knew each other a long time ago.
20 years.
And we bumped it. I know this is really... I had hair, didn't I think? That's really bad.
And a beard.
And a beard, yeah. This is really short now, because if I let it grow, it is pure white.
Wow.
And I thought, no, I'll let it...
I know you can't see around my life because I haven't got a good studio like that. My hair's been in this skin grey, lightning.
Oh, I've just accepted it gracefully. The beard's really short. The hair's gone. So there we go.
So,
I've shaved it all.
So yeah, she was born. Obviously, we had the assessments. Things went wrong, but we still had to go to this college course, which is called Parenting Opening Doors course, and that went okay. But because I'm not trying to slander my partner at all, because it's not fair, but she had learned difficulties herself. She had mental health issues herself. I'll give one example, and I know she doesn't listen to this or even watch it, so I can say it. When something didn't go her way, she collapsed to get attention. And for someone like me, who was not deliberately mindful of autism, then I was aware of it and I was aware of that. But for me, it was overload. And the situation got so worse that when she was even pregnant with my daughter, I had to sort out something personally in Flow City Centre in the bank. And I said, I've got to sort it, out there will take further action. She said, okay. I knew she was pregnant, I respected that, and I was just going to say, after we finished with doing that, I was she ended up collapsing in the middle of Flow City Centre, just because she wanted to get through things.
Well, that is now. You said your daughter's now how old?
14.
14. That was so many years ago now. And you find yourself in America, which is awesome.
And I don't see my daughter. Don't get me wrong. I've seen Lynn, and I'm not going to say where because sometimes they do find it. They might block me, but I have seen Lynn. I know where she is attending school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of that. You've probably seen on my Facebook several times how many times I've seen how many times I've been blessed by seeing how she's been well in school. And she's also on the autistic spectrum. That's how I can now relate to autism and Asperger's a lot more.
Yeah. So, the journey,
yes.
America,
yes.
A bit of a long way away from here, different time zone, which I'm trying to be trying to keep aware of. Thinking, right, it's late, and I'm just checking to make sure that's it. It's later than I think for you.
12 hours time zone, and it's about 10, 11 hours flight time.
Wow. The longest I ever flew, someone was to Nepal, and that shattered me.
My wife's got.
I went a couple of times. Like, whoa. Say again.
My wife's got friends in Nepal.
Oh, I loved Nepal. I went to Kathmandu and Pokhara, and I worked with individuals who were awesomely autistic and who had learning difficulties and so on. It was brilliant. Loved it. Learnt a lot, but basically got used to the long air flights, which I didn't like. And got used to the heat, which I'd never had over here. I'd never been anywhere so hot in my life. I was chatting.
They think like a heat, just in moderate weather. Yeah.
Well, I was chatting to someone this morning from Dubai, and she was saying that it was a cool, I think, 36 or something. And I was like, because I said winter's starting here, it's getting a bit nippy. I've got, the shorts have long disappeared. It's now autumn gear I've got on. But so we knew each other years ago.
Yes.
You called up on Facebook.
And I only connected up with Facebook because I saw your face. I recognised you. It was a face I was familiar with. I was seeing your work. I was proud of what I've seen. And it made me intrigued more because obviously autism or ASD is not the term what it was when we was growing up. You're a bit older than me.
A little bit.
Different.
A little bit. So we said in our preamble, so much has changed. I have very recently had the self-realization that I am awesomely autistic. Everybody I know that self-identifies or is diagnosed and identified has gone kind of like, yeah, you didn't know? And no, I didn't. I didn't have that realization. Somebody asked me last year who I met, and he went, are you autistic? And I went, I'm just Tigger. And he went, yeah, you are, but didn't follow it up with me, yeah? And so of late, my journey is, I worked at a college environment, I worked in education, I loved it. I worked with some incredibly awesome people, and loved that job, that journey that I did there. I left there in 2013 and went to do what you see now, which is freelance. So I've always been involved in the autistic world. I never knew why I felt so comfortable there, but I do now. I never knew why I could go into a classroom and think this isn't right. I could understand why a student didn't like this, why somebody didn't like that, because it's just part of who I am. And now I know why. Yeah, part of my brain, isn't it? It's awesomely, awesome autistic. I can see things, I can sense things, I can smell things that maybe, for want of a generalised term, neurotypical individuals can't. So that's why I think I've loved the job for so long. I've been really passionate about the job that I do. And then COVID, regrettably, has hit our awesome planet. And now you see me doing all of this. You see me with microphones and webcams and monitors and YouTube clips and all the rest of it, because I've had to kind of reinvent myself online, because because that, so to speak, is the way to go. So freelance-wise, I was still teaching, I was still talking to people, I was working with families, doing conferences, all that kind of stuff, all around the world of autism and related areas, and loving it. But certainly that journey has taken a leap boom in the past, 6-7 months, because my whole world, as so many other people's did, completely changed. I was working a lot in schools in Cornwall, I was doing a lot of conference work, and it's just stopped because you can't go out. You don't want to, you're going to be very careful of, being safe around COVID and so forth. I don't know when it'll come back.
Because when you're autistic or Asperger's, your mind's overthinking of things anyway.
Oh yeah, no. My partner would say to you that I have researched it to the nth degree, and I think one of the things I have a time limit with her, and it's 6 p.m. at night. So after 6 p.m. at night, I'm not allowed to talk COVID, because I'll just go, I've read this, I've read that, and there's that research project, and it's saying this. Then by 6 p.m. she's like, and I totally respect that. That's my cut-off point, unless I'm given permission or she asks me a question. I go, do you want to, this is a COVID answer? She goes, yeah, great, go for it. And I've gone for it. Then she'll go, right, that's enough now. And I go, okay. So I have researched that, man. I think just before COVID happened, before we went to lockdown in Britain, I think a couple of weeks before, I contacted her and said, you need to think about this, you need to think about that. Please don't get scary. You know what my mind's like. Boom. And she was brilliant. And I think Contagion, the movie, if you've ever come across it, I researched it, went, good movie to watch. I went, okay, I've seen it before already. I watched it 2 or 3 times before we went into lockdown. Whereas I've got lots of friends who've gone, you shouldn't watch that, it's really, and I went, no, gave me a lot of information, don't touch your face, don't do that. So I overthought it, but I overthought COVID and lots of other things, because that's how I get my security. I delve into it, I work out the facts as I see them from various other people, reputable people, scientists et al., and I think, right, that's okay, I know what's coming, or I know what the expectation levels are.
And you've got the your dog as well for comfort. There was a time where you had to fight with. You've got the dog close to hand.
I mean, that's when I knew you, I had a dog called Gellert.
Yeah.
Collie Cross Setter. He was my first dog. 10, 11, 12 years we had him. Absolutely adored him. Sadly, like most dogs, he died. And now I've got Mrs. Pebbles. You might see on the odd YouTube clip. Mrs. Pebbles is yeah, that's my partner's dog. But Mrs. Pebbles and I just clicked from the first moment we met. I was really anxious about meeting her dogs. I think, which some people understand and some don't. I was thinking, if I don't like the dogs, this is going to be really difficult. Adore the dogs. There's 2 of them. There's Mrs. Pebbles and her daughter Bluey, who's about 4 years old. Mrs. Pebbles is 12, just had a birthday. Or was she 11? I can't remember. And that's bad of me. But no. So I used, I'm. And in the video, I gave the story of going to a party somewhere only about 2 years or so ago, and somebody saying, "Has anybody seen Tigger?" And I was under a piano with their dog. And what was I being in, like 50, 52? I was under the piano, lying on the floor, chatting to a dog, and the dog was like, "Hi, how you doing?" with its paws on me, and I was like tickling its neck and thinking, yeah. So I said, yeah, I like animals. I like dogs a lot, and not all dogs, but Mrs. Pebbles, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely gorgeous. And from a sensory viewpoint, her smell, her paws is like her breath. Maybe not, sadly, because she's getting on a bit. But her paws, God, yeah.
It's just a feel and texture, isn't it?
To me, it's the smell of her paws.
And
would
the
you believe?
paws
It's the smell of her paws. She is old. She's having some dental work done. Her breath is like, whoa. But I've even got used to that now, because it reminds me of her, so to speak. But no, so for me, professionally and personally, the journey in the past 6 months or so has been huge. And I've been lucky enough, though my career has changed incredibly, I've been lucky enough to develop my online world here. And when I'm pointing, there's ring lights, there's microphones, there's gimbals, there's everything I've invested in.
That's the thing I'm going to get, is a ring light.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've got this. God, can I see this here? I think I've just got it caught on cables. There's a ring light, right? Mm-hmm. But what I do out on my screen is a little LED set of lights that go across the top, and they light me up. Mm. And then here, if I do that way, there's a microphone, and so yeah, I invested in it and realised that this was the way forward for me, and this is how I was going to connect with my population, people that would employ me, or people that would listen to me, people would learn from me, people I could learn from, meet people, old friends. So yeah, a year ago, if somebody had said to me, you'd do this YouTube channel, you'd sit in front of a webcam, you'd talk to people from across the close, so I'm just adjusting the webcams, it wasn't central, I would have gone, no, don't like it at all. And I brought all this stuff and it sat in boxes for about a month, and I thought, I don't want to do this, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm really comfortable sitting here, and I really like it, because I can't go to schools, I can't go to colleges, I can't go to conferences, I can't go to families' homes at the moment, because you can't.
And it's the same thing when you're on a Zoom meeting, attending meetings, because you like to physically meet people.
Oh yes, very much so. Forgive the water.
But the personal interaction. I'm talking to you via Zoom now. But if there was any other way, I would have been in further bumping.
Yeah, and I mean that is weird. I mean, things I found which are interesting from an internet point of contact is you miss so much of the communication aspect in terms of body language, environmental awareness, but that kind of helps from a sense viewpoint as well. But also because I'm using maybe different parts of the brain to study and to process and decode the communication I'm getting visually and audibly, I find that whereas I could go somewhere and teach for like a whole day, on Zoom now I'm kind of like, whoa, I'm kind of like a couple of hours, 2.5 hours, and I'm shattered. And other friends I know that have entered this world as well said the same. Oh yeah, it's in, because we're not used to it. It's really tiring for that part of our brain. But I am loving it. I am loving it a lot, I must confess.
Well, you're my third interview on Zoom, and my third official podcast with a visual person. My previous podcast has been pre-recorded stuff that I found and just rehashed and put together.
Yeah.
But the last one before you was with Paul Irwin and Jeremy Brock, and they were the two original creators of Casualty.
Oh right, wow, that is cool.
So I interviewed them how they started Casualty, where the idea of Casualty.
So I can remember watching that when it started.
But that's where my Asperger's kicked in, because everyone used to say I was fascinated with watching Casualty.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, my podcasts for me, it's just I've had to do it. I haven't. You mentioned about editing. I haven't learned how to edit a podcast yet. That's my next thing I've got to learn.
Audio. If you've got Audacity, that's the easiest one.
Audacity. I'm looking at what I've got here. I don't know if I'll be able to. I mean, it might be if I've got video based, but I've been using name dropping. There are more products available. I've been using KindMaster on my YouTube clips, and I just had to do YouTube clips, sit down, and I'm only like 2 weeks into that or 3 weeks into it, and I'm learning to edit. I'm learning to put background noise in. I'm learning to change the imagery. Give me a month, the YouTube clips will be even better. I've only just started to put a little front bit in and some titles. I would like to do some music. You look at what other people can do, and it can all be done. Amazing! It can all be done from this, can't it? Yeah, it's amazing. It can all be done from the phone now. I bought extra stuff because I researched it because I wanted to look at it thoroughly, and also my partner is an actor and a voice artist, and she does books on Audible and so forth. And she was saying, no, you need to get a good mic, you need to get, if you're going out. So I invested in it all and thought, right, this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, as you know, I'm loving it, absolutely loving it.
Well, the reason I'm so comfortable on Zoom and behind the mic, even though I've got no physical mind, is because I spent 10 years working for a community, volunteers as a community radio station.
Where was that, in Cornwall?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It's the one I mentioned to you when I first started talking about Chris FM.
That was it. God, yeah.
And incidentally, I saw, because you're my old college lecturer,
yeah,
I got into Post FM, or as it was back then, and they won't mind me dropping the motion for them. But back then it was Penrith Community Radio, and I was with one of my other partners. Partners I've had over the last 7 years, but I'm now stable, don't worry about that.
Good.
But I was on the bus with my partner at the time, and I saw someone other night, and it was my old school teacher. I don't know if you heard of him, Alan Jones.
Maybe. I might be confusing the name with something else, but yeah.
Well, you think of something, Dr. Alan Jones. Scottish man, into his magic.
Oh, I do know him.
Ooh,
Just mentalist type stuff.
yeah.
Tricks and oh yes, I remember meeting him years ago. I first met him on a course,
Yeah.
and he said to us, "You just need to know about the human brain. You just need to know where the eyes look, the tone of voice, its axis and parts of brain." And I was fascinated by it.
For the awareness of how he becomes a good listener, etc. And then obviously I learned from you about Makaton. You even did Makaton and I both knew because.
God, yeah.
But that's why I'm so good at Makaton.
Good.
As well as Mr. Tumble.
Good. I mean, would you believe? I don't do so much Makaton now, but it's starting to go on the rise again. Next year will be my 30th year as a registered Makaton tutor in Britain, and that's because it's older than my daughter. It's crazy. I've been doing Makaton since 1991, and when I knew you, it was a huge part of my life. I was teaching.
Taken off more so because programs like Something Special was only just started.
Oh, I can remember going to. We used to have to go to tutor meetings in London. I remember going to my tutor meeting and them saying, "Oh, the BBC are interested in doing a programme." And I remember looking at other tutors going, "Oh, that'd be so cool if that happened." And the rest, as they say, is history, because that's decades old now and really cool.
Well,
that's transformed Makaton.
That's why I identified you on the poster and I've advertised what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Cool, even though you're not calling.
But I've loved using Makaton. I still use it when I can, which is awesome. And it was a huge part of my life. I mean, I signed for about 15 years. There was nobody else in this county of Cornwall signing. I think as a teacher based on it, it's just me.
Myself, I always got with disabled, adults and
yeah.
On the disabled people.
I mean, I was using it as a. I think I was the only teacher, possibly, certainly in Cornwall, maybe Plymouth and Cornwall. I'm not too sure. There was another lady, Devon Wise. I remember her. But no, for 15 years or so, there was nobody else in this county doing it. So I did you folks at college, I did evening classes, I did classes at the weekend where I was teaching people, and I was so lucky to be able to do that. And I think...
when you actually see and you learn, and when they do it for real, and you see
yeah. I mean, it's interesting now because a lot of people that know me now see me as this guy in the autistic world. And sometimes we meet people. So we met somebody the other day and somebody went, "Oh, it's Cornwall's Mr. Tumble." And I kind of thought, yeah, that's nice, but it's been...
But you don't go dressing up Larry Fowler.
Not yet. I did do... a friend of mine cornered me into a fancy dress event several years ago, about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And she said, "Look, we're going to call it Come for a Run with Tigger or something." And I hunted round... Tigger in a tutu, that's what it was, Tigger in a tutu, and I hunted around for ages. I got a Tiger suit from Asda, which is a shop in Britain, and I got a tutu, and I got a tutu, and we did a sponsored walk, that was it, and we raised money for the local National Autistic Society, which I'm chair of, in a voluntary role, and that was lush. Tigger in a tutu wasn't something I'd prepared for either, but it was really good fun. Raising money for charity, which I loved.
Going back to what I was saying, because I've always had the inability to process job hunting full-time, part-time. I saw, Alan Jones, and he said, "I'm part of this community education, and it's only just started with me last year, and it might be good for you." So I said, "Okay, where is it?" And he told me where it was, and he told me to meet up with my former volunteer manager, station manager, Dave Pascoe.
Yeah.
In Campbell, local to me at the time, which is good. And I met him in Penzance and said, "You're welcome to come here. You can be a trained as a, at the time it was a, company. It was like a reporter, community reporter.
Yeah.
So basically, they gave me a microphone. Can you go out and get Tigger's opinion on autism, for example?
Yeah.
And it's called Fox Pop. And then the old manager then left, and it became Dave Pascoe full time. And he said, "What about you doing a radio show?" Because we've got someone who's going to be away 1 week. But I said, "I'll do it." And I asked him, he said, "Yeah, we can do it." So I did a
Cool.
radio show in 2008.
12 years ago. Wow.
10 to 12 in the morning, 2 hours. No,
Really?
No script, nothing. So I'm doing what I'm doing now, and all I had was like 5,000 types at the time in front of me, and a microphone. I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what to say, but it came naturally.
Yeah.
And then I did a few shows. They gave me a full-time show then. 1 hour, I moved away. They gave it to someone else. I came back. They gave me shows again. And then towards the end, the last 4 or 5 years, I was in the role of the broadcasting system, which is a glorified term for tea boy, coffee boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that stuff as well, yeah. Carrying the crates and making the tea and coffees, yeah. Buying the pasties, yeah.
But then it got to the stage where it actually got to be known as meeting with different guests, shake their hands, can you answer the telephone, can you do this, can you do that. I then was given opportunity to do training which was safeguarding disabled adults. I was given training for first aid, so they gave me the responsibility of roles within the station that would only be suitable for a more physical person who could do more. Now, it's volunteer, there's no more, it's all volunteer. But they said, what about you coming in on such day and just covering if I can't be there? And that's how it started. I then became like a unofficial teaching manager.
I mean, I say to people, I say this at college, I'm sure, I think the volunteer world is hugely important. And you're right, like you, I can't stand writing. I hate CVs. Well, I'm not saying this is like you, this is just me, yeah? I'm not good at interviews. I much more would rather learn hands-on. And what you can't get across in an interview, because interviews just aren't made for people, really. They're just not right. I think interviews are really bad in most of their formats. They're beginning to change them at last for a neurodiverse population, which is lush, but they're just not good formats. And when people see you working, hands-on, seeing your skills develop and learning, that's really what I say to most people, do a volunteer job, because that can get you work. That can you can interview then over a period of weeks or months, can't you? But again,
I'm able to interview now because I've had interviews. I've been people on one-to-one basis saying, "Tell me about, for example, Wiltshire Farmers was my first interview."
Yeah,
Wiltshire Farmers is based in Penryn. I only interviewed him because one, community, the elderly population, do rely on food. And if they can't go shopping, how are they supposed to get food? So they have to go to Wiltshire Farm Food. So,
it's brilliant. I mean, I like learning, as I'm doing something. I think that works for me. I mean, I tried watching YouTube clips about how to do all of this because I wanted to create the shortcut, do it quicker, and I couldn't. I had to sit down and do this. I'll even be honest with you. I did my first Zoom with me. So, actually, what I did was I said to my partner, I was upstairs, she was downstairs watching telly with the guys and stuff, and I went, just accept on the laptop, turn the screen down, turn the volume off, and I'll just be upstairs. And I did a whole hour just talking to nobody and forever looking, adjusting, thinking what worked with it. I've got a dual screen set up, thinking where I placed it, and just getting used to doing this. Because to begin with, I was like, I look in the camera and all this stuff. I didn't know what to do, and I know, yeah, and then, I mean, I've still got so much to learn. But the more I do this, well, it's like most things. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I need to do more. I need to learn more about this world.
But I did the radio for 10 years.
For how many years?
10 years.
Wow. I mean, I did a Radio Cornwall. I went in to be interviewed by them once. And would you believe I was petrified, absolutely petrified. It was about becoming self-employed. There's an organisation down here called Outset, and they help people who want to become self-employed. They put you through, I think it's an 8-week training process or whatever. And I signed up, and a couple of years later, they went, look, you're still self-employed, you're doing okay, do you want to come and have a bit on Radio Cornwall? And I was absolutely petrified. Look at me, I'll talk for hours, yeah? But I was petrified.
And if you do have to go any further, okay, because I do have to explicit on.
Yeah, no, I won't, don't worry. But it's because I wasn't used to that format. But I mean, come on, they've got like you would have seen the big studio and the steps, and I was like, but now I'm getting used to this, and I love it as a way of sharing information. It will never beat face to face. I mean, excuse me, I joke about my coffees. I've got lots of different coffee cups, mugs, and so on. Yeah, good. And even with friends, I'm saying get some cakes in, and I've done some bits where I've nattered with a coffee and cake, but it's not the same. I mean, I'll be honest here. I don't know. It's obviously quite complex in your awesome country there too. But I went to a coffee shop here once. A lot down it eased a bit, and I just felt totally uncomfortable. And that's where all my stuff come from. The Autism Coffee Shop, which is a Facebook page I have, and Coffee with Tig, all those connections came from A, my love of coffee, but B, more often than not, if I was in a coffee shop, I was online doing stuff about the autistic world. I was talking to somebody about the autistic world, and it all revolved around a coffee. And I have to confess that I do miss. And this, fun as it is, I'll never replace that. I'm looking forward to getting it back.
Because I've listened to a couple of your podcasts. The last one I listened to before you started doing it was the coffee shop Tigger, was you with Marine, and she's on the autistic spectrum, and just ambience with the dogs barking.
Yeah, she's awesome.
You didn't stop recording. You just regardlessly carried on. That's what
I think we had to. I haven't learned to edit stuff out yet. I have on YouTube a bit, but not on this format. But
naturally, it's a good way of making the podcast unique.
I was chatting to someone this morning, and someone went hello, and another lady I was chatting to, her son went hi, and it was it's if you're okay with that, if permissions are there, then we'll go with the flow. I haven't done visual based stuff yet myself, as in I've been on them, but I haven't recorded one. What I normally do on a podcast is I do this and I just do the audio.
Well, I was
thinking
my edited video so you can put it on your channel.
Lush, I will, don't worry.
Cross-reference or post-reference.
I will, don't worry. I know what it's like. Because it's a full-time job. Because I've now got a Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube.
LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn as well, yeah. I forgot about LinkedIn. I'm just getting used to LinkedIn again. And I have to make sure each day I do something on all of them. So every day I'm looking at Instagram. Once a week or so I'm doing YouTube. I'm posting a lot on the Autism Coffee Shop because I love that. I love researching things and posting them when they're good. Starting dialogue and also doing stuff on LinkedIn. And I was chatting to someone the other day. I was chatting to a dear friend of mine, and I'm like this, yeah? And he said, it's really bad to be on your phone all day long. You shouldn't be doing social media. We're talking about the evils of social media, so you shouldn't be doing social media that much. And I said, well, I'm not actually doing social media when I'm working. And I went, do you want to look at my news feed? And I showed him my news feed, and I would say a good 95% of that news feed is about the autistic world.
And he was
like,
helping to share as well.
Yeah.
Even for the Autistic Society in Cornwall, we're finding stuff which obviously people like, and they just have to like because you have to respect what you share. But because you had to put a post out saying, I would allow it to be shared by
But that's the bit about sharing stuff. Yeah, so the Autism Coffee Shop is one page.
That's your
and and I think that would you believe that started from Nepal? I went to Nepal. A great friend of mine who was an ex-student got in touch with me and said, I'm working in Nepal, I'm working in a Christian school, and here, because it's a Christian inclusive school, there are students here with quite complex issues. Can you help? And I sent some ideas and so on, and we got chatting like this on WhatsApp actually. And I went, really, I do by seeing. And she just went, well, come out then. And I went, oh, there's no way I can come to Nepal. There's no way I can do that. And in the end, I did. And when I left Nepal the second time, I went several times, loved it, absolutely loved it. Beautiful people, beautiful country. Bit hot, but beautiful country. I thought one way of keeping in touch with them was to start a page. And that was the precursor to the Autism Coffee Shop. It was called something else then. I can't remember now, it's that long ago. And so I started the Facebook page for them. So I could send them stuff on autism, about the autistic world and about communication and so forth, even though they were, all that way in Nepal. And it grew from that, really. That's shareable. So in the past 2 or 3 years, there's a national charity in Britain called the National Autistic Society. And each county, each area in Britain has a branch. and I was initially vice chair of the Cornish branch, and now I'm chair. That's a voluntary job. And as that, I'm a representative of the National Autistic Society, so I have to abide, and rightly so, by their rules. And basically, what happens is if you open up anything to the public, and I'm sure you might know this, you open up anything to the public, some people have very strong views, or wish to argue, or wish to say things, and also if somebody asked for help, I'm not on that page 24 hours a day, and if somebody asked for help and I wasn't there, that'd be devastating. So, the guidelines from the NES are, excuse me, I can put information up, but it's non-shareable, it's not editable. Forgive me mucking around my earpods. Sometimes they just annoy me a little bit.
I have them for, because I'm doing the temporary job at the moment, I have them in my ears when I'm standing roadside.
Oh yeah, seen your pictures, yeah. But I prefer them to headphones though. When I'm doing this, I really do. But the NES stuff, it's kind of like a closed site. It's for sharing information because it's just to stop anybody being, impolite,
trolls,
unprofessional, and trolls and so on. I mean, this is what I find fascinating. I remember we have branch officers that give us support. As I said, the role with the NES hat on is voluntary, and and we have a committee, and to me, it's very much a committee led by autistic individuals. So the insight, the understanding of the autistic world is there, and every now and again, I get people from lots of countries across the globe saying they want to join, and I say, well, look, it's the NES Cornwall. Can I ask why? And they don't. More often than not, they don't reply. But I'd say, certainly during lockdown, and certainly before, quite a lot of people that were not in Cornwall, had nothing to do with autism, just wanted to join, just to have another place to talk about some discuss stuff. And I'll say to people, I'm sorry, it's not that kind of group. It's a closed group. The question there is, do you live in Cornwall? Are you a family member, autistic, a professional parent, individual? That's kind of questionnaire. And if you're not, then we respect it's a Cornwall county-wide group. There's NES branches of their own Facebook places in Plymouth, Devon, the Midlands, Scotland, and so on.
I'm Cornish.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine with me. Cornish is good. There's some exceptions. There's somebody on it who's a grandmother, and her family is in Cornwall, and it's good to share information with her. So when she's in France. When she comes from France, I think someone in France, then she's able to know what's going on and be up to date with stuff like that. But so one page is very much share it, but even so, I was chatting to someone the other day. This bit about having dialogue on social media. I've seen the trolls, and there's a lot of stuff going on, regrettably, in the autistic world where people have very strong opinions, and it causes friction and misunderstandings and so on, as there is in any online world. And there's an awful lot that going on at the moment, sadly, across all formats. And even, I couldn't have an input where I discussed a lot of things online because I just haven't got the time. There comes a time where I have to kind of like switch off and watch a movie, Yeah, I have to be. I just have to stop it and just think, right, no, I can't now. But that to me is increasingly difficult. My partner will say to you that she has to drag me away from the phone. And when you're a freelancer, which I am as well, you don't work 9 to 5. Yeah, and it's I'm working tonight. I've got a parents group at 7:30 till about maybe 9, because that's how it is. And then I might chill out for a bit in the morning. So sometimes I watch a movie, but I watch it at like 9:30 in the morning. So that's weird, isn't it? You think, watch a movie now, and it's like 9:30. Whereas most people think they're relaxed at like 8 in the evening or something and watch a movie. But I do love it. I'm so lucky. Truro College, where I worked, was really great to me. I worked at other colleges as well.
Jonathan was the big boss, because he was the big boss, wasn't he, back then?
Yeah. And I was, they supported me. I learnt a lot there, which was some great stuff. I met some great students over all those years, tons of Macton signing. And if there's a world I'm passionate about, this is the world I'm passionate about. And I think that's been apparent since when I came to Cornwall in 1987.
I was 4.
Really? Oh my God. So yeah, 1987 I came to Cornwall.
Because those people,
And I've loved it.
People hear your accent and they will know you're not from. You're from.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, originally, forgive me, Welsh heritage. I'm very proud of my Welsh heritage, but no accent.
I love the Welsh.
I adore Wales. North Wales, Snowdonia, Llanberis, Carnarvon. Sorry?
You're definitely the same as me because my grandparents, great grandparents, lived in North Wales.
I'm sure we've had this conversation before,
Yeah,
you know.
when I
We have, haven't we? But then I was...
And when I
Go on.
told my story in a minute, I'll explain what happened.
Well, I was brought up in Wolverhampton. But because of mum and dad's strong Welsh accent and speaking Welsh language at home, it kind of got rid of almost all, but not quite all, of the Brummie accents. So there's a bit of a Birmingham Midlands accent there, which people that know the Midlands go, "Oh, I can hear it." But there's a little bit of that. Yeah. There's a bit of it that was sidelined a bit by mum and dad's, speaking Welsh at home and stuff. But look, I will talk about me for ages because I'm really bad at that because I love to.
Because it's concentration, you can talk about it, and your listeners can hear about me and you can hear about me.
So I mean, tell me about you.
Well, I'm David, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm now 37 years old.
Oh, you're not, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that ages me so much.
Well, when you first met me, I was officially 17. Because I only just left school.
Wow. Yeah, I was, wasn't I?
And I'll start from when you first met me. That's the easiest way. I did things beforehand, but they just put it down to the age of popping when I was growing up. And then I went to Cornwall College.
Yeah.
I did a foundation studies course there.
Yes. I did work there.
That's how I met you.
A long time ago.
That's when I met you, foundation studies. In the new building, in the square building, that was a bit cool.
Oh, was it really? My memory does get a bit fuzzy, I'm afraid. As you get older, it does.
Just in behind, I don't know if it's still...
Yeah, I remember the building,
The building.
Wow, yeah.
And I did a course called multi-options back then.
Yep, I remember multi-options, yeah. I remember the team leader, yeah.
The team leader, when I joined, was Rosie.
Wow, that is going back to that's my memory, but yes, I do. Wow, I do, yeah. Awesome.
Never saw her again after what I explained what happened after that. I did the first three options, which was computers, which is frankly on why I'm good on computers. One other, and then the third option was art. And I was starting my fourth option of childcare. And I was at a bad stage in my life. I was thanking to it because my mum's homosexual, the lesbian, I won't deny that. I was finding life difficult. I was not myself to be who I wanted. I was in a sheltered life because mum never really took me to be assessed for certain things like Asperger's, autism. I was just David. David got behavior problems, that, nothing else. And it was given the idea when I started college that I was possibly autistic, but nothing was really done about it. But when I got to the fourth option of doing childcare, I was with so-called friends, and this is probably will spark a memory as well. And they told me, "You don't want to be in this class anymore. Can you do something?" And this was in the early days of mobile phones and mobile phones.
It was early days, wasn't it?
And they told me, because can you do something? And they just gave me there. And because my mindset, so naively, if I was naive at the time when I was doing it, I rang up the college and I said there was a bomb there. And the old college had to reflect. If I didn't disobey where, I just did the bomb here. Get out. That was pre-9/11. So imagine if it's after 9/11, it could have been a lot worse. But I said, there's a bomb in college, get everyone out. It's going to go bang, you're going to die. I did that call on a Friday. I remember the day well. My mum picked me up to get my money, because back then colleges had this thing called employment support allowance. No, not employment, education support allowance.
Yeah.
Which was a grant which was awarded by the government for people on low income. If you go to college 5 days a week, you get £30. And she said, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah." But you knew something's up because I was always very panicky looking, and I didn't think. I got back to college about 10, 15 minutes later, and the police were there. They evacuated the whole college. The police came up to me. "Can we have a word with you?" Rosie was with them as well, and Trisha, the main team leader of the foundation study with this prison. And they said, "Can you come with us to see?" I forgot who the principal was back then. Dr. Stanley?
I can't remember hardly anybody.
I think it. But they said, "Can you come to the main principal for college with me and Trisha?" And the police was walking to me. They, didn't say anything. So I was unaware of what's going on. And I went to the principal's office, and they said, "David, we have reason to believe you did it. Bombers at this college." Now, me said, no. But they wouldn't take it gospelly, and they arrested me there and then for bombers. And I was taken to the police station in Camborne, and I was interviewed. I was in the cell for about 2 hours, and they interviewed me at 3 o'clock, and they said, "Okay, we're going to release you, but we want you to come back, but we want you to have psychiatric help. We want you to have these assessments." So I was suspended from college by that point. They said, "We don't want you here, we don't want you to come back." And I went through, that was in March, and I went through that for about 3 months. Went to see, community mental health team in home group at the time. They assessed me as just being isolated, lonely, crying wolf, one timidity. But they said I'm no immediate threat. So police had to release me and just gave me a formal warning at the time. And said, "Don't do it again, blacklist person," which was a blessing. But at the same time, they shouldn't have been. And then I moved to be with my grandparents, who were in the Western North Wales, because I'm a bit of Snowdonia. And Mum said, "I don't want you to be here, go with your grandparents and you'll be with them." And I was with them for about a few months. Started college up there for a month. 9/11 happened. I came back to England. My mum said, "I've had enough, I don't want you to come back home." She had moved on in her life. She said, "I've had enough of you," because at the time my autistic tendencies were where I was lashing out, I'd be violent. So I had to find somewhere quick. I had friends, elderly friends who helped me, and I do thank them to this day. And I still talk to them now because they're still alive. And they gave me a roof over my head for 2-3 days. And they said it can only be for 2-3 days. And I said, okay. Then I had to go to, I went to my old school, which was just in behind the college, which is Paul Academy now.
Yeah.
And I saw my old, as I would call them back then, learning support system, sensitivities. Someone to breathe down your neck to make sure you don't do anything wrong. And I met her and I said, "Look, I've got nowhere to go. Can you help me? Even though I don't come here anymore." And I couldn't go into college because obviously I was still suspended. And she said, "I'll help you." Got in touch with social services. They found me a case pretty much just like that. Luckily on that same day. And I moved to the supported accommodation for people with learning difficulties, not severe, moderate learning difficulties. And it wasn't Spectrum, it was just a private place, social services in the morning. And a thing called Supporting People was organised back then, where supporting people based in Old Country Hall, and they would give people money to say, "Look after this, supporting that house." And I will be blunt about this, and it is very explicit, I can say. In that time, I was raped in that case. I was abused. I moved to another place, what they had. I was away from that person who raped me, but he's in the other house. I was told to move back from that second house back to the first house where my rapist was, so I could see him again. I didn't tell anyone when I got raped. I was so shut off from it because I didn't want to say it out. I just shut it off. And I was allowed to go back to community college, but I had to start from the bottom. So I couldn't do much options. I had to start from options plus. This is the very basic level. And I was the oldest there. And then one day I just started snapping really badly. They obviously had diagnosed me Asperger's and autism back then, but I still didn't acknowledge it. And I started getting snappy, bitchy, arrogant to people, and they said, what's wrong? I came out with the truth. The person who got raped me got away with it because he didn't record it, as he should have recorded every sexual encounter he had with me. And then I moved to Croom, which is just outside Campbell, if anyone doesn't know where Croom is. Not Scotland. And there's a place out there called Boswell, like East Ramblin. There is a place just past Boswell which was for severe learning difficulties, but I wasn't there. I was just before that, and that was private. That was not within. I was allowed to be myself. You know, I was getting off my money for the first time. I was not told, here's your first £10 a day, David. Because in college, I was budgeted by my support workers from the old place to £10 a day. There's a pay packet, £10 in that. Get yourself food, get yourself whatever you need. If
I remember those days, not with you, but I do remember that kind of system, which is really old now.
But if I wanted anything major, I would have had to say, can I have X amount because I want to get that, and then they would have to pay me my money. Okay, you've got, say for example, £500, David, that's worthwhile, you can get it. And in that pay packet as well was my sort of anticipation to make sure I got my anticipation. And I'm not feeling that against the person who I was living with in the original place, but the support staff was nasty to me as well. And I'm not going to say their names because obviously I respect them.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
But long time, because I was in this really low mood, I didn't move. I was really down in my depression. I didn't want to do anything. They got me up by throwing a cup of water at me and a bucket of water at me and made sure I got up.
If there's something I've seen over the past 30 years, and regrettably it's still there in Britain, we've had programs like Panorama and so on. I've had that journey in care where I've seen some people who are not there because they care. They're there for power, they're there for lots of other reasons. They're certainly not there because they care. And on the whole, that's in the past. But it's I mean, there was a Panorama program several years ago, about 7 years ago. Lots of laws were put in place, and I think Panorama did another program last year where another care provider in Britain, another care home in Britain, and there was huge amounts of horrible abuse, water, pushing people over, being horrible to people, and so on. Well, it's I'm positive about the world we live in because I choose to be. That's my mental setup, but I do know that the care sector in Britain, in any country, isn't as awesome as it should be. People need training, people need support, they need to pay people, the right wages for the incredibly complex job they do, and they need to ensure that people that work there are there for the right reasons. And there's still people that fall for the cracks, and that's so annoying.
And that's how you get to meet me the second time, because I was in that supported accommodation. And, they encouraged me to go start again in college. Obviously, that's why I started to go to college.
I cannot remember you at Cornwall College at all, because about that time I was moving from Cornwall College to Truro College. Yeah, I was like, yeah. But Truro College, yeah, no, that's where he
was my main tutor there.
Yeah, that's my memory remembers us at Truro College, I must confess. But you know what, something I've found, and whether it's part of my particular makeup, I don't know, I call my brain a Swiss cheese brain sometimes, because there are huge periods where I'm like, I'm just like, I don't know, I've forgotten. Yeah, and I love cheese. And tea, coffee and cheese, yeah. I remember meeting somebody several years ago at a party, and we got on really well and we're chatting. And another friend of mine was there, and he went, "Oh, wasn't he great to see so-and-so again?" I said, "Yeah, he was a really nice guy." And I went, "Again?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "You worked with him for like 9 months." And I went, "Did I?" And he went, "Yeah." And I went, "I thought he knew a lot about me." And I went, "I can't remember." And he went, "You're joking?" I said, "No, I actually can't remember working. I worked for a care provider on shift, so to speak, as the term used to be, doing shifts with this guy at weekends and during the week of that." And I thought, I can't remember that at all. It might be an age thing, might be other things as well. But so I do remember you at Truro College. I do remember you starting at Truro College.
But,
Just.
yeah, but then there was issues there, and that's why I had to then leave there. Not with me misbehaving, it was just that I had a really bad breakdown, and I was, again, it leads back to relationship. I was in a relationship with another student. I felt like I was being used by that person for their own needs, even though it was a relationship. And I just took out person in the class, really doing that thing. I think it's the end of term thing where it was part of the presentation to see if we can get the mark for, I think it's speaking and listening, putting good speaking and listening.
Yeah.
And we had to produce like a quiz. Now, the quiz format we chose me in that part, and we did work, even as students, we worked together, and I think that's one reason why we ended up fighting so much towards the end. She wanted it a certain way. She broke up with me, and this is how messed up my mind was. When it came to that quiz, it was, why is David in a really, and I will swear that I got sensitive. Why is David pissed off with A, because he is, B, because he wants to be, C, because he's just had someone break his arm. I had a physical meltdown, which I think I've got it down to now, because of that person breaking up with me, and they had to take me out of the classroom. They couldn't carry on with the quiz, obviously, because it's a two-person quiz. And they said, "You okay?" I said, "No, I'm not." And they said, "Go home." And I had to go home, and I didn't go back.
What year was that?
That was 2004. And then how I got to where I am now, 2005, my grandfather died. He had Parkinson's, he had COPD. Luckily, I was blessed to be with him when he passed, because the weirdest thing is, my partner at the time, who was my daughter's mum, she said, "I've got to go to Canada." She was pregnant, obviously, with my daughter, but she had to go to Canada. But she said, "My mum and dad will give you the money to go rail." Now, back then I did young person's welfare, and normally it would have cost me.
I remember those.
I know.
Yeah.
And it would normally cost me back then £118 for an open return to get to Renan and Randolph, because they moved from Bethesda to Oliet, just outside Oliet. And I said, okay. And I looked at the prices of it. And by chance, I've been stopped at them. There's a train ticket, open return, £43.50. I thought, weird, it's normally £118. Now I have to go for Aylesford and different area, but it still got me to where I wanted. And I chose that ticket. Next day I had a phone call on my phone, because I still had a phone. This was obviously when I was allowed to have a phone again. "Yeah, can you come to North Wales?" I said, "I'm already in North Wales. What's up?" "This is a Spitty Gwynedd, your grandfather is," and I knew he was, because last time I saw him, he only just got readmitted into hospital. So, "Can you come to the hospital? Can you bring your grandmother?" She said, "Yeah, why?" And they just said, "Come in." I was this like 6 o'clock in the morning. I only just got there like 4 hours, 5 hours previous. I said, "Okay," so I knocked on Nan's door. I said, "Man, we've got to go to the hospital. It's not good," because we always used to ring up to see how he was. She said, "Okay." She was out there herself. And then we had to arrange transport to come pick us up. And we was there from about 8 o'clock, because it takes an hour from where Nan was to the hospital. Doctor spoke to Nan, they spoke to me by myself, because obviously my autistic, I know most medical jargon. And they said, "No, it's not good. Can you try and get your mother up?" So I was on the phone for about 3-4 hours. This was before me and Mum stopped talking. And she said, why? I said, not looking good. Granddad's not going to make it. Oh, I can't get there. I can't get there. I said, yes, but you need to be there. She said, I can't be there. And I remember about 5:20, I was on the phone to her. I said, Tigger, I'm finding my husband, I can't be there. 5 minutes into my grandfather died. And I was with him. Now, that was my second major meltdown, because I've always been close with my grandparents. When they said there's nothing else we can do, because I knew in that last hour it was going to be very close. And he knew I was there, because I was sticking in his feet, so he knew I was there, because he kept moving in the road. That was so cute, but when they declared it, Nan started crying, she had to leave the room. I just stood there open, and I was crying with myself. And I said, you're going to be a great granddad. Because up to then, Nan knew she was going to be a great grandma, but my grandfather didn't.
Right, yeah.
And I said in his line, I said, you're going to be a great granddad. That was on the 18th of August 2005. 6 months and a day later, my daughter was born. And he was there when she was born. He was raising goodbye to me. So for that 6 months, other than months, constantly, 6 months following, I was in this bubble of granddad's going to come back, granddad's going to come back. He was there when she was born, raising goodbye to me. And I cried again. And then obviously we went through the political, I'll say, stuff of social services, because I don't want to be blandly stressed. But we had to go through that. We had to go through 6-7 months of that. And when she did get, final hearing, she went to my ex-partner's sister, so her auntie, and the first person she saw when she came through that door, because we went to that, her sister's place. By chance, we didn't expect her to come back so soon. We knew she was out, but we didn't expect her to come back that day. She reached out and wanted me. She didn't want her mum, she wanted me. So she was like open arms. And then Nan died 8 years ago. So I'm jumping a bit now, so the things in between that is different. It's a stable ground. I did the radio, that was my stable ground, so that's why I don't reflect on it, because I know it's my stable ground. But 8 years ago, my nan died. I was in the West Midlands myself at the time. I was in Bartley Green. I was informed that Nan was dying, because Nan called me that Monday and said, I haven't got much time, I'm not going to be here by the end of the week. I laughed it off. I said, no, you're going to be fine. Now that was my Asperger's, because I didn't want to accept it. And I was more aware of Asperger's, but I still wasn't accepting that I got Asperger's, but I know it's Asperger's in the day. Well, by the first day, I had a phone call with Grandma. I said, thank you, Helen. My first biggest meltdown. I was putting stuff away in the ex-partner's fridge and freezer. I just collapsed on the ground. I couldn't do anything. That was my worst thing. And she came out because she heard me drop something. Nothing, so I was holding, not luckily, I was holding something. She heard it drop and she ran. She said, what? I said, she's gone. She said, what? I said, yeah, she's gone. She didn't meet her, she knew of her. And I said, she's gone. And I said, I don't know what to do. Because the two links that came to me stable for so long in my life, because I'm not saying my mum's busy, but my grandparents got me more stable than anyone else. It was like, wow, my barriers are gone. My security's gone. I can't say to Nan now. I can't say, Nan, help me. Nan, talk to me. So that's where Wise Words for You at the time came in. The page you to write walking inspirations, Wise Words for You. It was at the time known as Wise Words for You. She wanted me to do something good for the computer. She always thought, fix computers later time. I started a journey. I started a blog. I started writing things as a page like you did with your coffee shop. I wanted to inspire people. Because my ethos of this page now, and I'll read you the full description how it is now, but the original ethos was, you see so much negative on social media, so why not share positive duality?
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
So
I think it's difficult as individuals, any individual, but when somebody who's had a major impact upon your life isn't there anymore, it is really hard. I was very close to my 9 and Tide, which is that Welsh bit for 9 and Tide. I was very close to my 9 and Tide, and was devastated at their loss, which is many moons ago now. And you may have seen on social media, I lost my mother 6-7 weeks ago. Sadly, during lockdown, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and so she's no longer around. And it's very weird because they're pivotal people in your lives, obviously. And you're like,
Asperger's sufferers or anyone with learning difficulties, they always associate a person as a key person in their life. My key people were my nan and granddad. So I'll read you the ethos as it is now. This is we've merged it as White Wolf inspiration wise with the. In 2012, after losing his great grandmother, I wrote this as third person, so I didn't want to make it.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
David started blogging on blogger.com and created the then named Wise Words for You. In the early days, David treated this blog as an online diary, portraying many elements of this interest, and this is where I started recognizing my autism when I wrote this post, of which was related to his diagnosis of ASD, formerly known as Asperger's syndrome. He was a very shy, withdrawn man who had little sense, and you probably could agree with that. When in college, I didn't really mix with many people.
I say it's that Swiss cheese bread, but I can just remember you. I can remember you at the front desk one day and chatting to you there. Do you remember chatting to you in the hallway by the staff room? There's a little flashes of memory I've got when we first got in touch. I was thinking, I remember this, I remember that. And then there's huge bits of I can't. But please carry on.
So he was a very shy, withdrawn man who had little friends, and this is a word I learned over the years, socially inadequate. I don't like using it, but it's what they used when they let me off with the warning for what I did in criminal cosplay, but it's socially inadequate.
Like I said before, thankfully, terminology, understandings, words, ideas, they're thankfully moving on to the 21st century.
And hopefully
as they need to.
But for now, I'm using it.
Yeah, no, go on.
So being socially inadequate and socially so I was basically me at the time. I wasn't going anywhere. I kept myself to myself. Because I'm so used to being in my own bubble. My mum always kept me in my room. I never was involved in being in the front room. I was never involved in going to social stuff. I was never involved in doing anything because mum was so protective.
I'm just thinking there's some memories I'm sure coming back of. I can't remember. Because things are going in my brain. Like, I seem to remember this. I seem to remember that. I seem to remember standing outside college. Now, this is really weird, but with filling a milkshake from McDonald's. Don't ask me why. I have no idea where that's come from. But I seem to remember standing outside the front of college and we're having a natter. And I think I've sloped across and I've got a vanilla milkshake or something from McDonald's. Must be my break. No, forgive me. It's going back a bit, isn't it? Wow. Yeah.
So, at the time of creating this blog, I was only 2 years into doing voluntary work at the radio. So David volunteered his time into volunteering for a small community radio station based in Penzance, called Penzance Radio. David thoroughly enjoyed this, as it was a place that accepted him for his ASD and anxiety issues, which is related to being socially inadequate. He continued his blog and realized over time that it was being reached to a variety of people globally. He decided to send certain thanks to his former tutor, Alan Jones, about finding and writing blog posts. Because he said, if you find other posts, not just about you, just find other things that will get people's attention. That would inspire people this was the thing that made the difference, and David saw the numbers grow. So when I first started, it was only like 10 people reading one post, and it was very small. It's like over 250,000 people read now.
That's brilliant. And it is, isn't it? When you get into this social world, you're looking at the numbers as well, which is something I'm bad at, I must confess.
David would be honest to say that he enjoys this venture and very rarely would share his enthusiasm with anyone. So that means being curious and with his mind, do not touch, pause off, back off, do not. So in 2016, we met Melissa, or as we call her in social media, Cosmic Star Centurion, like my wife, or at the time, Joking. She too enjoyed the love of being inspiring, and only after a few months, David gave her the option to be part of the blog. So I trusted her in that first few months of talking to her to be part of my life and be in that circle. He also decided to rebrand the blog to reflect his commitment and trust in Melissa to White Wolf Inspiration from YCS for you, which it is now. In 2017, David also took a big step in overcoming his social anxiety. But this is how I go really deep. By taking a trip on a plane from UK Airport, Dublin Airport, to JFK Airport, and then on to Pittsburgh Airport.
Wow, that's the bit I find like, wow. Because when you first got in touch, I was like, where are you? And I was like, wow, that is some journey, isn't it? That's a continent, culture, everything.
A total rough distance of 3,549 miles.
Wow.
And Pittsburgh is the nearest big airport, and that's about an hour from where I am. Where we then got off the plane and met Melissa. The magic of love had drawn them together, and in this short moment of time, David knew Melissa was the one. And so on her birthday, by chance, they made inquiries about how easy it would be for them to get married. So we only knew each other a year. She passed herself as engaged to me, just for people around and that. But by chance, we went to the place where you get registered, and they said, yeah, you can get registered. So on that same day, we got married.
Wow. Wow, that is cool. And that is some huge journey. So, all those years as well, but especially the last few.
So by this time, it was getting close to the end of experience in life and what America got to offer. I was only there originally on a temporary visitor permit. And David often called it the American dream. I was having stirred in the arts with David a couple of days before he left. And Melissa saw tears in me. So I was crying because I was in that emotional state, and I've got to go. I don't want to do it. It's like when I used to see my grandparents. I used to hate leaving them.
Yeah, I know that one.
He explained he didn't want to leave her and he wanted to stay with her as he loved her so much. He loved being in America. He said to him, then immigrate him. And Melissa's obviously got the same abilities as well. But she knew most things about it, so she was a stay for it. So she said to him, immigrate him. Now, as you know, David can be very smart. And after finding a website, and this is good website, I'm not sponsored to say this, but this website called Rapid Visa.
Yeah.
And Rapid Visa will take care of your case, you give them money, they like the thing that helps you prepare paperwork, it's the middleman ground where if you've got all things, they help you and they will go through things to give you and make it easy for you. Really good service.
Yeah, it sounds good, yeah.
I'll put that link in the podcast and YouTube video later. But they decided to go for it. By this time, David was back in the UK and speaking to Melissa frequently on FaceTime as he was able to answer remotely and do the necessary paperwork that was sent to himself and Melissa via Zoom here. Because I've been doing Tinder and lots of the radio stuff, use Tinder.
Yeah.
When he said I've got paperwork, I'll go say, okay, can you log on to the computer? I can look. This was a very testing time for them both, and often it was frustrating. But after 3 appointments in London, including a psychiatric assessment, because they had to make sure I wasn't off sound mind, they received the email complaining that they were eligible to immigrate to Wow. But the thing is, and it's 2 years, 6 months, next couple of weeks, I think, it's next week or something, they said to me at the psychiatric appointment, they said, how soon do you want to be with your wife? I said, sooner than later. And she said, give me 5 months next week. You have to answer. The report comes back. Yeah, that's okay. It's now being sent back to the immigration embassy in London. in Whitworth. And within that time, congratulations, he's a visa. A week after when she promised that I was better. So she managed to persuade herself and get it.
That's lush.
So David and Melissa currently live in East Liverpool, which is where I'm now, and both regularly contribute on this page. The various subjects can also know new things, and this is also a podcast, and I have to remember it, entitled You Guessed It, and it was at the time called Right Off the Stage, but it's now The Journey.
Yeah.
The blog in recent months has continued in its stream of inspiring others, courtesy of many talented inspirational people. So I was talking about David's love of many subjects. The core value is to educate and use and to inspire you all. So if you are disabled, young or elderly, be sure to share a wide experience.
I mean, The Journey. Wow. You know, I mean, I had the chance a long time ago to, discuss the idea of going to Australia. But you know what? I was too afraid. I thought there's too much in Britain. I look back on it and think, yeah, I could have done maybe, but I didn't, and I'm really happy where I am now. But God, that is some journey.
But what held me back? Fear of anxiety, fear of Asperger's, fear of autism, fear of I've got nothing to say stable. Because America, any country, I'm not just saying America. Every country wants someone to come and do something good for that country. I was thinking, what am I going to do good for America? I'm not going to get to be in America because of fear of that. I was over that. Melissa, luckily, was supportive. She said, you will be, you will be, you will be. Her dad was alive at the time. I kept seeing him on FaceTime and she kept seeing him at the time. He had mental issues as well, but he kept saying, when he coming in. Because he liked me. Now, he didn't live with her dad, he lived with her mum and sister, but he was a mercenary, and he was until he died last year, and I was there for Melissa. But that shows how strong I've got in my interest. But I was feeling wanted. For the first time in my life, I was wanted for who I was. When I first came here, I was wanted for me. Yes, David, you've got a lovely accent. I like your accent.
British accent. But that, I think, is gorgeous what you said just there. You were wanted and known for who you were. And I think that's what everybody wants, but we're often denied it, aren't we? And I think to have that strength relationship, to cope with major life changes and not having the meltdowns, having the anxiety issues that go along with it, but finding ways to cope with them and to overcome the anxiety issues, it just shows how far your journey has come. And I can remember when my 9 died, I was devastated. And I think I went away and walked in the Welsh mountains and camped for 2 weeks because I just had to get away. I just had to get away from everybody. I wanted to be on my own.
That's one thing I want to get to. When Nan died, I was there when he got, cremated, but I never had the time to say goodbye. Wales is a place of my heart always.
Oh, so with mine. And it's really difficult at the moment because, as I said, my parents lived, my father's still alive, in a place called Conway, which is in North Wales, down from Snowdonia a bit. Because of the current pandemic climate in Britain, let alone the world, they've just gone into lockdown, quite a major, different kind of lockdown to where we are. So going to see him is now really difficult because there's a lot of rates of infection there and people testing positive for COVID and so forth. That I'm going to give him a ring after this. We chatted the other day and I said, look, Dad, I don't think we're going to be up till after Christmas. And that's a long time. I know you're further away, but I'm just thinking, it's like Wales will always be a very, very, very important part to my soul and to my life.
Because I knew the Welsh language and I adapted myself to Welsh. That was my main...
I adore Wales. I absolutely adore Wales. I can't get enough of it. And there's a lot. I mean, the pictures here aren't of Wales. There's a picture in my main room. It's of the Snowdon Range and Llanberis Lake, and it's just a painting from an old railway thing, which I got as a print. And I just sit there and look at it sometimes and go, I've got bits of slate on my shelf that come from Snowdonia. I picked them up and I've gone, I'm taking that's a bit of slate. Or when my father worked at the quarry, I'm putting that down. But it just, I'm going to have to go in a minute, forgive me, but we've been on for ages. But it's...
But the journey is, you've come to accept who you are. That's what I've come for, and that's what I want people to see and hear. You've gone your journey.
Thank you. It's a journey that's feels like it's just started. Because accepting that I'm awesomely autistic, but all those years that people I've met, the jobs I've done, and almost everybody going, yeah, you're autistic, didn't you know? And I go, no, I didn't know I was awesomely autistic, but for whatever reason it's not known. But the insight now has happened with the help of my awesome partner as well. It's brilliant.
What you do to yourself.
Yeah.
Carry on being inspiring. Be the way you are. That's the best way you can be.
And it's great to keep in touch as well. It was fantastic to hear from you.
And being to the picture. No, you never did say your real name.
Well, would you believe... I said I was late because of a guy dropping off a parcel. And he said to me, great name, mate. And I said, yeah, I changed it legally 23 years ago. So 23 years ago, I went to a solicitor's in Truro. I cycled there from where I lived in Probus at the time. And I went, I want to change my name. And they said, to what? I said, Tigger. Because people had called it me for years. Because I used to do some outdoor stuff and I used to run a lot. And I'd be bouncing up and down country lanes with a head torch on, running home. And it just stuck. And I went, I want to change my name. So it is actually my legal name. Yeah, it is actually my legal name is Tigger. So it's on the passport and all my legal documentation. And people go, really? I go, yeah. And they don't believe me. And I go,
no, you don't have to say your fun, but was your original name begin with, or was it something else?
Yeah, it was Terry. My birth name was Terry. The story is that there was a gap of about 11 years or so between myself and my brother. So I was an unexpected little person arriving. But I was born 2 months premature. I was born and I weighed just over 2 pounds. And so I was born early. And in those days, this is the mid-60s. Technology was great, but not as good as it is now. But Mum and Dad were told, look, he's not going to make it. And Mum was convinced it was going to be a girl. And my Welsh name would have been Sian, which is a beautiful name. Welsh for Jane, I think. Beautiful name. Yeah, lovely name. And when I was born, and they went, oh, it's a boy. Apparently on the incubator, I was hitting the incubator with my fists and with my feet. And one of the nurses went, oh, he's like that boxer. And apparently at the time, there's a boxer called Terry something. And they were told by the guys in the hospital, name him now, and we'll get the minister to come in and do it, because he's not going to last till the morning. And the rest is history. I decided, do you know what? I am going to last. And here I am all those decades later. But I never felt that Terry was my name. So when people started calling me Tigger as a nickname, I liked it, I adopted it. And one day when I was going through quite a major change of who I was, and thinking on what I need to be and reinventing myself, whichever terms you want to use, I suddenly thought, everybody calls me Tigger. Nobody calls me Terry anymore. That's all from, my past up country and stuff.
I'm known as why because I'm lying. I know my words. I was born in 1982.
Yeah. So it just fitted for me as it does for you. It fitted with me. And then one day I thought, you know what, I'm going to change it. And I did. I don't think I told anybody at the time. I think it cost the amazing sum of £34.76, something crazy like that. And they went, yeah, come back in a couple of weeks, we'll have the certificates for you from the solicitors. And then you have a main copy, and you send out these copies to like your doctors, the NHS, birth certificates, passport. And I changed my name. And you know what? I'll finish on this because I do have to go. So I've been zooming all day, so I've got one more to do tonight. But I can feel my voice feeling the strain. But when I landed in Nepal, in Kathmandu, I was really frightened. I was really scared. And I walked up with my passport and my rucksack, and I brought some bags for the clothes for the kids we were working with and stuff. Quite a lot on me. And I kind of walked up there, and I went to the passport office and gave my passport. And someone looked at it in the most beautiful English. She went to me, wow, did your parents like Winnie the Pooh? And I was so amazed, I just went, yeah, in perfect English. I didn't expect it. And I went, yeah, they did. And she went, lovely. Welcome to Kathmandu, welcome to Nepal. And I went, thank you, namaste. And off I went. I'll never forget that, because that was like, wow, I can't believe that. It was like, wow. But this has been lush, forgive me. I've got to go, but we can natter again. Keep in touch.
I'll send you, I need your email afterwards.
Oh yes, I'll send it now. Yeah.
Send the video and the audio. You can share it on your podcast, your YouTube channel.
Yeah. But thank you. So we can natter again off podcast and say hi to each other. Best of luck with everything over there.
And
really,
keep being you as well.
yeah, and you keep being you. It is a journey, and I'm lucky to have the support of so many awesome individuals, to know so many awesome individuals, and it's a journey I'm awesomely, lushingly so carrying on with. And I keep drinking my coffees as well because it keeps me awake.
Yeah.
Take care, and
Right,
forgive me for
okay.
going, but I'm on again in a couple of hours.
Okay.
Look after yourself, all right? Thank you for everything.
Okay.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, man.
Bye.
Bye.